a report which Deloitte globally has been preparing for a number of years. And in this report, we tend to ask a large number of business and HR leaders around the globe to tell us about what they see are the trends that are relevant today and the trends which are going to become relevant in the next 1 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years sometimes, and 1 to 3 years and 3 to 5 years. And we do this cut at different levels, one at the country specific, at the region specific like Asia Pacific, Americas and Europe and so on, and globally. If you look at these trends as we've been seeing in the years, we find that there is a general convergence that is taking place in many of the findings. So we normally try to identify 10 or 11 trends which really make a difference in the HR area globally. This year we have seen 13 trends which are emerged, and these 13 trends are grouped into two categories. One we call as exploratory, things which are really talked about in the future and what would change in the future. And the second aspect, which is called as execution. These are things which would lead our HR leaders to execute the strategies in a manner by which the HR function as a whole, the people management, the people themselves are benefited in some way or the other. In this case, the trends that are there emerging from a global perspective and from an Indian perspective are similar. The 6 trends which are really very important as far as India is concerned are: one, the talent that is there from the developing countries. We've used the term BRIC in the report, which is Brazil, Russia, India and China. And these countries are really going to be the leaders in terms of talent and talent management, because they represent the future people of the world, the people employable and employed people in the future world. The share of the developed world is going to be shrinking to that extent from the point of view of talent areas. And newer areas of talent management are going to emerge from the trends that are already being seen in the BRIC countries. The second important thing, that the trend that we're talking about, is called leadership. The next generation of leadership. The leader being a superhero, somebody who's different, is being demolished, and what the trends tell us, these interviews tell us, is that the leadership, next generation of leadership, are going to be people who are coming from within and who are going to be learning and working with what matters to them. The other important trend that we are seeing is the boards, the legally organized company boards, are taking a lot more serious interest in the HR, in the talent space. And this is a welcome trend, and this is a trend that we see happening in the next 1 to 3 years more significantly, and this is a very important trend, and even India features in this trend. The war to develop trend is quite distinct from the talent itself. We used to talk about the war for talent. The war for talent is now slowly emerging as war to develop talent. The key essence, the key message here is that talent is available in different quantities and different qualities. What one needs to do is to fit them right for the kind of opportunities and the roles that are there. For doing this, the investment in the development is far more meaningful than just allowing the talent to find their own roots and settle down. The next one we call as the organizational acceleration. This represents the speed at which things are changing. And this is a very interesting trend, and this is something which we have heard, and this is perhaps for the first time we are putting this in the name of organizational acceleration, where the trend is to suggest that things are changing so fast that you need to be able to respond, you have to set goals, you need to have measurable parameters by which you understand how organizations are reacting to the talent agenda. Finally, the transforming HR to meet the new business priorities is the next trend that is emerging. And this is very interesting. We actually asked a question about the way in which these leaders perceive the quality of the HR processes and the way in which HR is meeting the challenge. Only a very small percentage, actually a single-digit percentage, only believe that the HR is world-class in their organizations. Nearly 1/3 of them, around 30% or so, across both at global level and at India level, feel that the talent function, the HR function, is really not up to the standard, and they need to be desperately and very significantly changing their approach to the management of people. So the war for developing talent gets reflected in this in some way, that transforming the HR function to meet the changing business priorities becomes an important part. So these are the broad trends that have emerged from our survey.